Hello, I'm Gary Quinn, and welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Live. I'm joined by the extraordinary Jonette Crowley. She's the creator of Soul Body Fusion, a powerful healing technique helping people awaken and integrate their full spiritual potential. Jonette is a modern-day mystic and a world traveler, an explorer of consciousness who channels the wisdom of her spirit guides. She leads transformational workshops and sacred journeys to power spots across the globe. Don't go away. I'll be right back with Jonette. Welcome to the show, my dear. It's been years.
Great to connect.
You know, I was taken by your last YouTube, which was all about soul body fusion. And I know when people ask you, what do you do? What do you usually say? Because sometimes people, when you say, I channel, I'm a mystic, how did it all unfold for you?
And I don't have a good elevator speech. You think I would. How to say what I am, but it started by having spirits come and talking, and then what they told me came true, and so I listened to them, and they said, hey, channel. So I have a guide called Mark. He said, channel me every week, and that started back in 1989, and every week I channel, and he's taken us to now the 12th dimension of consciousness. So it's as if we're building steps for other people to follow that are doable. Consciousness steps. So I love to explore, and I love to get people on their next step.
You know, a lot of people don't really believe until they have an experience of something that grounds them, or that they're actually sitting with you in a room. And I know that from just me working with individuals or other people that I've known that have had gifts, that sometimes people, they are shocked, or they finally believe when they feel this other essence or this information that there's no way you would know this. Have you found that when people have an experience with you, do they sometimes become a believer immediately, or are they still skeptical?
You know, the people who come to me are already believers. I kind of don't get beginners anymore, because I'm trying to get people moving to higher and higher states themselves, and then grounded in their body. And you mentioned soul body fusion, Gary, and what I think the biggest problem is for us who are believers and are on a spiritual path is we have a lovely spiritual path and we leave our body behind. That's what I did. So, yeah, people feel it right away because, again, they're already believers.
Now, when you teach the soul body fusion, because you have a book, but also the book talks about, what are some steps? I know people have already done their consciousness work, or they've maybe already been in practice, but what is the advance, almost like how can someone, if they're interested in this, really start to get the basics? What are the ground rules, or there are no rules?
No, it is so easy that I'm astonished that people heal from cancer, that I'm from profound mental illness, from all kinds of things, because it's so simple. And it made my head spin, because I thought, if you have to do Reiki and know all those symbols, or you have to do this and have the right invocation. I'll tell you how to do soul body fusion. It's not a secret. You just sit quietly. And I usually have my hands on my lap open as if I'm receiving, because so many of us feel that our soul is up here and we're down on earth. And I sit with the intention that my soul comes into my body, and then I get out of my head and just scan my body and notice if anything's happening. Am I bubbling or getting hot, or all of a sudden am I seeing a vision? And if nothing happens, you don't feel anything, it's still working. And how I know this, Gary, is when I was first playing with it, because my soul and my body were not connected at all. Lovely spiritual life, but not grounded. I kind of discovered this by just testing how far away my soul and my body were, and they were really far away. And I thought, well, I'm just going to imagine going high enough where they merge. And I didn't feel anything, but I was at a conference and I go to breakfast and somebody said, wow, you feel so different. You feel radiant. I'm going, this is before breakfast. And so I thought something must have changed. And I started doing this visualization with people, just having them imagine that their soul and their body are at the same frequency. And they had astounding experiences. So I kind of made steps because people like steps. But honestly, it is our intention that connects us to a higher resonant field. And then that resonant field begins to be invited into our cells. Then our cells begin to change and open up to it. Then a higher resonant field gets to awaken to us. So it's kind of step by step. It's not like your soul is one concrete thing and it comes in and we're done. It's an endless opening. And the more we can hold in ourselves, the more radiant and healing we are, or healed we are. And then the next time we do soul body fusion, which you can do every day, more of, at first it's your soul that comes in, Gary, but then the more you are your soul and you are consciousness and your knowing begins to expand. So that's a really long answer to your question.
But it's almost like what you're saying basically is the quantum healing or the energy that opens up is actually a form of healing, because when people make amends with their bodies, or they forgive themselves, or they open up to love, I believe the body shifts. And so you're helping them to raise the frequency, and it makes sense. I mean, because we are energy. So I believe what you're doing is you're lifting the soul's energy for people.
Or at first it feels like you're lifting your body's energy to your soul. And then what happens is the body and soul is stronger, and then body and soul can take on so much more.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, I found with clients that I work with individual that when they start doing the work and really start working on themselves, they begin to have a glow, or they become shiny. People say, especially to the women, they say, oh, are you wearing a new makeup? You look so radiant. It's the frequency lifts. And that's what's so fantastic about the Soul Body Fusion. Now, you teach these courses online and in person. Now, you have two books, The Eagle and the Condor. Which one is more that you apply with your everyday work now, or they're both information that's needed?
A great one. So the Soul Body Fusion book, it's in 13 languages now, as is the Eagle and the Condor. But the Soul Body Fusion book is really a good place for people to start, because it puts them back to them and their path and their power. The Eagle and the Condor was my first book, and it was a story of awakening that has to do with twin flames in Peru and sacred events that happen. So it's a good read, but Soul Body Fusion is kind of a handbook to help you open up and really come home to yourself. Because I grew up Catholic, and you grew up in Colorado, and we have always separated our soul and body. And in the Catholic Church, there was a time in the Mass where you go, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. So you're just downgrading your body with every thought. And we just kind of have to get out of that and get our body how nature intended, and our frequencies the same as the birds and the bees. And then our spirit opens up, then our health opens up, then our intuition opens up. So it's just, we just got to heal all the old programming.
When you channel Mark as a spiritual being, what surprises, or what's been the most surprise that Mark has shown you? Or has it been several?
I channel him every Monday for 35 years with a group online. What amazes me, Gary, is that every space and experience he gives us blows us each away. It's not linear. And so what surprises me is that humanity is in his words, humanity is now moving out of the 12th dimension, which is, he calls it transcendence. And, everything's based on cycles of 12 in our world. And when you bring the 13th dimension, which is called superconsciousness, that reorganizes all the 12 and everything is different. So right now, and people are using different words, but humanity's at this breakout place where what is settling into us will change everything. And it's frequency, it's dimensional, it's programmed already in the universe. We can't screw it up, and we're not actually causing it. So that's what really excites me and surprises me when I channel Mark.
Wow. And have you found that when you are teaching that the groups are, because I've noticed when I've been teaching around the world for probably 20 some years, I've noticed the consciousness has raised in all these countries slowly, but surely. I've seen a shift. Have you seen a shift more and more, even in your work?
Absolutely. And it's not so slow anymore. So there gets to be a shift place where it was linear, and then the shift becomes quantum, and it just happens. And I know other spiritual teachers are talking about it, and it's easy to say, no, we still have to get through all the politics and all the crap. But it is getting on a whole different quantum in terms of speed. Speed's not even the right word. Complete change in who humans are, and the potential and the help, the frequencies. I don't even have enough words because I can't see it yet. I just can feel the rumblings. Nice.
I think what's happening with people in this current, let's say, market that we're in, life, some people are having fear triggered in all areas, and I believe the conscious people aren't losing it, but there's a bit of anxiety that's triggered with all of this unknown fear about the future for not only the Americas, but the world, because everybody is connected to us globally. What have you found that has been helping, that any of Mark or any of the guides have been saying to relieve some of this angst?
Gary, that's a great question. And what helps me is to know that it's kind of as if we're finishing cycles and cycles and cycles of karma. And it looks like we're going to go around the loop again, but instead we're going to a whole nother cycle that's outside karma. And if we can kind of see that everything that we feel, the angst and the fear, isn't just from this life, we kind of are shouldering all of it and saying, okay, the frequencies are high. I'm gonna somehow take on everything that I've collected over my lifetimes. And I also see, and you probably do too, Gary, when I'm doing a healing, I see all their ancestors lined up and go, yay, 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 you're releasing us. So it can kind of soothe the angst to know that what you're doing and what you're facing is clearing up so much more than just your small life. But practically, to get out of angst, I do soul body fusion every day for 10 minutes. And I just sit and ask for my higher self, my consciousness, the one that's wise, to impregnate my body so that my fear response and my anxiety response is grounded and not activated every second.
So it's a form of meditating in a way of relaxing into it, but then downloading it as would you say it's channeling, or would it be an intuitive energy? Or, I mean, some people get confused with the word channeler. They ask, are you a medium? Are you a psychic? Are you this or that? What is the clarity for a channel? A vessel. You're a vessel.
Yeah, well, everyone's a vessel for themselves. So if you just see yourself as an open vessel and ask for your higher frequencies that are more smooth and stable to come into your vessel. So it's more like grounding your higher self into your body. It doesn't care what you call it. But it's not meditation, because meditation for me, I sat here, left my body, and had lovely travels. And that's probably what was a big issue in my life. And then, so it's kind of a reverse meditation where you bring the high consciousness into your body, and your cells begin to open to it. So it's quite physical. And I tell people, don't go out. Just keep scanning your body. Feel if your feet are still cold. So
it's almost like it's grounding you, but it's keeping you not leaving your body and being able to transfer or let's say download the information clear. Because when you leave your body, a lot of people get checked out. I mean, you're just gone, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think you said it exactly.
Right. What do you think that most people, why do they have such a hard time loving themselves or going back into love in some point?
Wow. I kind of think that our self-love circuits have become broken off, because self-love circuits is also the basis of our power. And who knows, but there's probably things in the past history, whether Atlantis blew up or whatever, that got our self-love circuits disconnected from us. And, you know, it's not our fault. It's not our mom and dad's fault. I think it's something that as a species we've been healing, and we are healing it.
Yeah. Now tell me, what countries are soul body fusion for some of the viewers? Because I have viewers from all over the world, so that they can go purchase the book. What countries? I know it's in Holland because I'm heading there. Where is it published?
Okay, so soul body fusion books. Scandinavia, so Danish, Swedish, Finnish, Norwegian, Estonian, actually, it's probably not in print anymore, German, Romanian, Dutch.
Are you in Japan?
My other book is in Chinese, but no, not in Japan.
Okay, I have to get you in Japan. I have to get this book and also, how about Italy?
No, I would love to be in Italy.
All right,
it's
we're going to work on Italy and Japan for you with my publishers. I'm going to send me info. But yes, I think that it's global, and I think that there's audiences around the world that are so hungry for change, or that they want something like soul body fusion, because it's almost, you know, like they're ready for the matrix jump. They're ready to step into another field. And I think people are tired of, you know, it's not just about work. You know, I think, you know, when we start to look at each moment is so precious, and tomorrow might not be here, that we cannot take anything for granted because life is precious and short. And I always tell people, please tell everybody that you love them and how much they mean to you, because they may not be there tomorrow. And I think that's what's missing is there's that kindness or that joy that we have to bring, and also support other spiritual leaders. You know, I think that's important too, because so many people in our field don't support, other speakers or other people so much. It's really, it's not a business. It's a opportunity to infuse the world with your work. And so I'm excited about your books. And tell me, what do you have coming up? I know you have events online. Tell us all about those.
Okay. And I did want to say some of my most active soul body fusion countries are Netherlands, Germany, and Poland. Soul body fusion is a huge healing modality in Poland. So what's coming up? So for people, you don't even need the book. I'm actually doing an online course on May 17th. But it'll be recorded, called Soul Body Fusion Immersion, where it's a day online, and I teach them soul body fusion. They practice with each other. I channel, but their body gets to be at a spiritual spa and spend its day at these higher places and learn to ground it and actually experience healing, opening, clearing. So Soul Body Fusion Immersion will be online. And if people want to become Soul Body Fusion practitioners, they can take the immersion class, and then a few weeks later, I have a half day also online to teach them to actually be Soul Body Fusion practitioners. And then they can use it, they can add it to their healing work. And the other thing I do with my guide, Mark, who's working, like I said, with the 13th dimension, is I'm going to be doing a workshop in the Netherlands in June that is also recorded. So if any of your listeners are explorers in the higher dimensions and know there's more, or all want to, I guess explorers is the right word, then Mark's work with the higher dimensions changes everything. So that's called super consciousness.
And that will be actually in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands,
Amsterdam.
but I'll record it.
But you'll be there in person.
Yes.
Oh, great. Excellent. Wonderful. All right. So quick questions before I let you go. What does the soul mean to you?
It's not so much a thing as a doorway to no thing.
What does love mean to you?
Love is actually the fabric of the universe. There's nothing else.
If you could go back into time, and I know you go back into dimensions, but if you could go back into time and speak to someone that you would like to ask them a question who's no longer here with us, what would you ask and who would you ask?
Well, I'm going to tell you my answer. I didn't go back into time on this planet. My mind took me back into time on Venus, where some of the great masters who probably came to Earth and are still helping us. So I would sit with the masters interdimensionally in Venus, and I would just say, we're still lost. Can you help? Continue to help. Wake us up.
Nice. When you leave this experience, how do you want to be remembered?
As a person who lived joyfully.
Love it. I am so happy to have spent this time with you. I know if people want to reach you, your website is on the link here, and they can really get something out of it and join your classes or online and really experience soul body fusion. I thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon in the near future. And you are brilliant, extraordinary. Thank you so much for your gift and what you do.
Thank you, Gary. This has been a pure joy.
Thank you. I'm Gary Quinn. Join me for another episode of Ready, Set, Live. Until next time.